Sister Wives Scandal. Kody proposes to Robyn, but this time for daughter Aurora, and Robyn calls him crazy. Hello friends, welcome to the Daily Gossip News Update. I'm Olivia, and I hope you're well by God's grace. Please subscribe to the channel and press the bell icon for more updates. For over a decade, Sister Wives has kept fans glued to their screens with its riveting tales of love, faith, and heartbreak. The Brown family, led by patriarch Kody, has weathered countless storms. But no storyline has shocked fans quite like the latest development, Kody proposing, but not for himself, to his fourth wife Robyn for her daughter, Aurora. The explosive moment not only left the family reeling but also prompted Robyn herself to call Kody crazy. What really happened? Why would Kody make such an audacious move? And what does this mean for the future of the family? Let's unpack this jaw-dropping chapter of the Brown family saga in full detail. Setting the scene. Where it all began. To understand how we got here, it helps to know the backstory. Kody married Robyn in 2010 after already being spiritually married to Mary, Janelle, and Christine. Robyn came into the marriage with 3 children from her previous marriage, Dayton, Aurora, and Brianna. From the beginning, Kody embraced her kids as his own. He legally divorced Mary in 2014 in order to marry Robyn so he could adopt her 3 children, a move that cemented their place in the family. But while the legal adoption solved the paperwork and symbolized Kody's love and commitment, it didn't necessarily mend all emotional wounds. Aurora, who was still young at the time, struggled to adjust to her new reality and reportedly became very dependent on Robyn and Kody for emotional support. Over the years, Aurora has grown into a young woman, but her anxiety and fear of abandonment have been recurring concerns, often featured on the show. The tipping point. Aurora comes of age. Recently, fans noticed that Aurora was featured more prominently on the show again. In confessionals, she spoke about feeling nervous about her future, especially as her siblings and step-siblings began moving out and forging their own paths. According to insiders, Kody was deeply worried about Aurora's ability to cope without the family around her. He reportedly became obsessed with the idea of protecting her and ensuring she would never have to feel unloved or alone, feelings he himself often projected onto her because of his guilt over how fractured the family had become. One source close to the family claimed, Kody started talking about how he wished Aurora could find a man who would treat her like he treats Robyn. But then it escalated, and he began saying maybe he himself should help arrange her future. The shocking proposal. Filming for the current season reportedly captured this stunning moment. It was during what was supposed to be a quiet family dinner at Robyn's house. Aurora sat at the table, looking downcast, while Kody rambled about how the world is cruel and how hard it is to find a man who respects women anymore. Then, with cameras rolling and everyone stunned, Kody apparently turned to Robyn and said, "Maybe the answer is simple. If no one else is good enough for her, then maybe I should step in and be the one to propose for her. You and me, we can keep her close, keep her safe. I could make her my spiritual wife alongside you." The room reportedly fell silent. Aurora reportedly gasped and began crying, while Robyn froze in her seat. According to production insiders, Robyn quickly stood up, slammed her napkin down, and shot back. "Kody, are you crazy? That is not happening. You've lost your mind." Robyn's reaction. Standing her ground. Those who've watched Sister Wives over the years know that Robyn is usually the one most willing to accommodate Kody's wishes, sometimes at the expense of her own happiness. But this time was different. According to one crew member, Robyn was visibly furious. She kept saying, "She's my daughter. Not yours to decide what happens to her. You're crossing a line." Robyn reportedly stormed out of the room, leaving Kody looking confused and defensive. Later, during her private confessional, Robyn apparently fought back tears as she explained. Kody thinks he's protecting her, but this is not protection. This is controlling and just wrong. I love him, but I don't even recognize him right now. The family reacts. Janelle, Christine, and Mary speak out. When word of the bizarre proposal reached the other wives and their children, reactions were swift and harsh. Christine, who has always been outspoken, reportedly said, "That's disgusting. Full stop. Kody needs help if he thinks that's okay. He's not thinking straight." Janelle, though more reserved, was equally blunt. "He's crossing moral and spiritual boundaries here. He needs to back off and let Aurora live her own life." Even Mary, who has largely withdrawn from family drama in recent seasons, was reportedly horrified. "I don't even know who he is anymore. That's not love. That's possession." Fans react, outrage and concern. Once news of the proposal leaked to fans through anonymous crew leaks and previews for the tell-all episode, the internet exploded with reactions. On Reddit, one commenter wrote, "This man has officially lost it. He's obsessed with Robyn and her kids to the point of absurdity. Poor Aurora." Another fan tweeted, "Robyn finally said what we've all been thinking for years, that Kody is crazy." Petitions even started circulating online, calling for TLC to cut ties with Kody and stop enabling what many called disturbing behavior. Why would Kody do this? Understanding his mindset. Psychologists and family dynamics experts weighed in on the controversy. Some theorized that Kody's proposal wasn't romantic in nature, but rather rooted in his need for control and his fear of abandonment. With 3 of his wives having left or emotionally distanced themselves and many of his children estranged, Kody seems to be clinging to Robyn's household as his last stronghold. Aurora, who has often been portrayed as vulnerable and dependent on him, may symbolize to Kody the last bit of family he can protect and control. Dr. Elisa Porter, a family therapist who has commented on the show before, noted, "This appears to be less about Aurora and more about Kody's inability to cope with losing his family. His behavior is irrational and desperate, which is why even Robyn is rejecting it." Robyn and Aurora's bond. Why this matters. Robyn and Aurora have always had a close, even enmeshed relationship. Aurora has been shown on the show crying over her fears of being abandoned, and Robyn has admitted to overmothering her at times. But this incident seems to have opened Robyn's eyes to how harmful it could be to let Kody's obsession interfere with her daughter's autonomy. In one scene reportedly cut from the final episode, Robyn allegedly told Kody, "She's not your second chance. She's not your property. She's my daughter, and she deserves to make her own choices." Where do they go from here? Since the dramatic dinner, insiders say the atmosphere at Robyn's house has been tense. Aurora has reportedly begun spending more time away from home, even considering moving out to attend school out of state. Robyn has been supportive of this decision, hoping it will give Aurora space to find herself without Kody's interference. As for Kody, sources say he's been sulking, unable to understand why everyone is against him. The upcoming tell-all special is expected to delve deep into this scandal. Previews suggest that Robyn will confront Kody on camera, reiterating that his actions were inappropriate and unacceptable. Aurora may even appear, though it remains unclear if she will speak publicly about the ordeal. This incident has once again highlighted the toxic patterns that have plagued the Brown family for years. Kody's favoritism toward Robyn and her children. His need for control disguised as protection. The lack of respect for the autonomy of his wives and children. For fans and critics alike, the moment Robyn called Kody crazy felt like a watershed moment, proof that even she has her limits when it comes to his behavior. Fan theories. Could this be the end? Many fans now speculate that this could signal the beginning of the end for Kody and Robyn. If even Robyn, his most loyal wife, is calling him out, it suggests a fracture that may be impossible to repair. Others wonder if Robyn will finally leave Kody altogether, choosing to prioritize her children's well-being over his increasingly erratic demands. A family in crisis. The Brown family has never been a picture of perfection. Their struggles have always been part of what made sister wives so compelling. But this latest scandal may have crossed a line even for them. Kody's proposal, whether well-intentioned or not, has alienated even his closest ally. Robyn's angry outburst and Aurora's tears have revealed just how much damage has been done. Whether the family can recover remains to be seen. But one thing is certain, fans will be watching closely as the next chapter unfolds. And perhaps, for the first time, even Robyn herself is realizing that Kody's love comes with strings too heavy to bear. The real reason why this Sister Wives star is always clashing with Janelle, Christine, and Kody. For years, Sister Wives has captivated audiences with its raw portrayal of polygamy, family drama, and complex relationships. Among the sprawling Brown family, one star has consistently stood out, not just for her presence, but also for the constant clashes with her fellow wives and even with Kody himself. Fans have watched these arguments unfold, but few know the deeper reasons behind them. In this deep dive, we uncover the real story behind why this particular Sister Wives star has always found herself at odds with Janelle, Christine, and even Kody Brown. Through the lens of family history, emotional wounds, jealousy, and unmet expectations, we'll explore what truly fuels the conflict. The history of Sister Wives, a quick recap. To understand the roots of the tension, we must revisit the early days of the show. When Sister Wives debuted, viewers met Kody Brown and his 3 wives, Mary, Janelle, and Christine, along with their many children. At that point, their family dynamic, though unusual to outsiders, appeared loving and functional. Then came Robyn, the 4th wife, whose entry into the family seemed to throw everything off balance. From the moment Robyn arrived, she and Kody shared an undeniable chemistry that left many viewers and the other wives feeling unsettled. Their affection for each other, displayed openly, was a stark contrast to the cooler, more restrained relationships Kody had with his other wives. But over time, as cameras continued rolling, the fractures deepened. And while Robyn often cried on camera about wanting unity and peace, behind-the-scenes her actions, or perceived actions, seemed to stoke resentment, especially with Janelle and Christine. Why Robyn felt like the outsider. Robyn's early years in the family were defined by insecurity. When she married Kody, the other wives had already spent over a decade building a life and raising children together. They shared inside jokes, family traditions, and even unspoken rules that Robyn often broke without realizing. For example, Christine and Janelle had found a fragile but functional balance with Kody. Christine became the homemaker and primary caregiver to all the kids. Janelle focused on her career and financial contributions. Mary held a unique position as Kody's first and only legal wife at the time. Robyn's entrance threatened these roles, not necessarily because she intended to, but because Kody's behavior shifted overnight. Suddenly, he spent more time at Robyn's home. He openly doted on her and her children from her previous marriage, sometimes at the expense of his biological kids. It wasn't long before Christine confided to cameras that she felt unseen and unloved. Janelle admitted feeling ignored. And Mary, already struggling with her own feelings of rejection, spiraled further into loneliness. And to them, Robyn appeared to revel in the attention, whether or not she meant to. Financial tensions, the silent war. Another undercurrent of conflict stemmed from money. Fans may not realize how much the Browns' finances became a battlefield once Robyn joined the family. Robyn came into the marriage with significant debt from her previous life. Kody insisted the family pay off her debts so they could start fresh. This decision angered both Janelle and Christine. Janelle, the primary breadwinner for years, felt it was unfair that her hard-earned income was now being diverted to Robyn's past mistakes. Christine, who had given up her career to raise kids, worried about how the debt would impact their already stretched budget. Then came the infamous Coyote Pass property purchase. The family bought a large parcel of land, intending to build homes for everyone. But disagreements about the timeline and whose home would be built first, particularly when it seemed Kody and Robyn might jump the line, deepened resentments. Even to this day, accusations linger that Robyn manipulates financial decisions to favor herself and her kids while ignoring the needs of the rest of the family. Emotional manipulation, or just misunderstood. One of the biggest criticisms from fans and even her co-wives is that Robyn plays the victim. Viewers have seen her cry in almost every season, expressing sorrow over the family drama. But Christine and Janelle have implied, sometimes subtly, sometimes outright, that Robyn uses her tears to manipulate Kody and the situation. They believe she paints herself as the peacemaker while subtly undermining the others. An example of this is when Kody began spending nearly all his time at Robyn's house during the pandemic. Janelle and Christine were frustrated that Kody enforced strict rules about COVID safety for their homes, but seemed to live comfortably with Robyn and her children. In Christine's words, "It feels like Kody has chosen her. He's not even hiding it anymore." The perception that Robyn uses guilt, tears, and her children to keep Kody close has fueled the ongoing feud between her and the other wives. Jealousy and favoritism, Kody's role. To be fair, much of the blame also rests with Kody himself. His obvious favoritism toward Robyn has created a toxic dynamic. When he married Robyn, he was smitten, openly saying she reawakened feelings he didn't even know he had. While this might sound romantic, it was devastating for Christine, Janelle, and Mary, who felt discarded. At one point, Kody confessed that he was no longer in love with Christine and that he didn't feel romantically inclined toward Janelle either. Mary, meanwhile, was left emotionally abandoned. But with Robyn, he was different, attentive, affectionate, and engaged. Whether intentional or not, his favoritism alienated the other wives and made Robyn the target of their frustration. Parenting disputes, divided loyalties. Another area of conflict has been parenting. Robyn has been vocal about how she wants her children to feel included and loved. But Christine and Janelle have felt that Kody prioritizes Robyn's kids over his other children. During family events, he seems to focus more on Robyn's kids, offering them more support, more praise, and more time. Janelle's and Christine's children have noticed, too, with some expressing anger and disappointment toward their father. One infamous example occurred when Garrison and Gabriel, Janelle's sons, accused Kody of abandoning them emotionally while sheltering in place with Robyn's family. Robyn, for her part, claims she wants all the kids to get along. But her actions, or the perception of them, seem to deepen the divide. Robyn's isolation, a self-fulfilling prophecy. Ironically, the more Robyn has tried to secure her place in the family, the more isolated she has become. Early on, she expressed a desire to bond with the other wives. But their suspicion of her, fueled by Kody's behavior, made it difficult for them to trust her. At times, Robyn would retreat into her own bubble, spending less time with the others. She developed her own routines, traditions, and even hired her own nanny, something that infuriated the rest of the family. Her isolation only reinforced the idea that she was different, and perhaps even disloyal to the sisterhood. The tell-all confessions, what they really think. In recent tell-all episodes, the bitterness has become impossible to ignore. Christine has been especially candid about her feelings toward Robyn. She admitted that she doesn't trust her, doesn't feel like Robyn respects her, and sees her as the wedge that drove the family apart. Janelle, while usually more reserved, echoed similar sentiments, saying that she no longer feels like Robyn is interested in being part of a plural marriage, but instead wants Kody all to herself. Even Mary, who once defended Robyn, has seemed to distance herself lately. Robyn, for her part, insists that she never intended to come between anyone. In her words, "I just wanted love and family. I never asked to be the favorite. I just wanted to belong." Cultural and personal differences. Some of the tension also comes down to personality and cultural differences. Robyn was raised in a different kind of polygamous environment than the other wives. Her upbringing instilled in her a more romanticized view of plural marriage, where the husband treats every wife equally and the wives support each other unconditionally. But the reality she walked into was messy and flawed. Christine and Janelle had already experienced years of disappointment, unmet expectations, and emotional neglect. They were less idealistic and more guarded. This clash between Robyn's ideals and the others' disillusionment created friction. Over the years, Sister Wives fans have been vocal about the dynamic. Some sympathize with Robyn, seeing her as a scapegoat for Kody's failures. Others believe she deliberately manipulated Kody and fractured the family. Polls and comment sections are filled with heated debates. Is Robyn really to blame for the family's collapse? Or is she just an easy target because Kody favors her? Could the family have survived if Kody treated everyone equally? The truth likely lies somewhere in the middle. Looking ahead, is reconciliation possible? Now that Christine has officially left Kody and the family dynamic continues to unravel, many wonder if there's any hope for reconciliation. For Robyn, the prospect of living monogamously with Kody seems bittersweet. While she clearly loves him, she has expressed sadness over losing the big family she always dreamed of. For Janelle and Christine, healing may take years if it happens at all. Both have indicated that they're enjoying their independence and no longer want to live in a situation where they feel unloved and undervalued. As for Kody, he seems conflicted, mourning the loss of his family, while continuing to prioritize Robyn. So, what's the real reason behind the ongoing clashes between this sister-wives star and the rest of the family? It's not just jealousy. It's not just favoritism. It's not just money. It's all of those things, wrapped up in years of unmet expectations, hurt feelings, and emotional wounds that were never properly addressed. Robyn walked into a family already struggling under the weight of its own dysfunction. Her presence exposed cracks that were already there, but her behavior, intentional or not, widened those cracks into chasms. Whether she was misunderstood or manipulative depends on your perspective. But one thing is certain: the story of the Brown family is far more complicated than anyone expected. And as the show continues, viewers will undoubtedly keep watching, not just to see what happens next, but to try and understand how love, jealousy, loyalty, and betrayal can coexist under one